I think I stepped in poo. Oh, I did. Confirmed. It's all right. Shuffle dance, shuffle dance. Doesn't matter if you step in. Universal subconscious mind, God, the all-pervading, everlasting, birthless, deathless, never-changing, immutable, one spirit that presides, acts, and brings forth all movement and life. I ask that the universal subconscious mind serve the highest good of all involved in this tarot reading. What messages exists for us today through the one spirit? One spirit? What messages do you have? First card of the day, the Hierophant. It's a strong spiritual teacher. More on this in a bit. What else? Birth of something new with the Three of Cups. A celebration. What else? A struggle. Doesn't mean it's bad. Sometimes struggles are necessary. With the Seven of Wands. What else? In the center of the reading, Nine of Cups. We've seen this all the time. Followed by the ending of a struggle, coming in with the Ten of Wands. I think we're going to leave this at 5 cards today. Bottom of the deck, Three of Wands. Lots of wand energy today. Lots of wands. Let's give some gold bars. One for the portal. One for the battle. One for the end of the struggle. One for the spiritual teacher, the guru. One for celebration. One for collectivity and wish fulfillment. Now let's have some fun. See where the gold lands. So far, a little bit off the table with the Hierophant. Ooh. Just took a little coaxing, but we did have that victory after the struggle. Let's see what else. There we go, nice and easy. Easy to lay down the burdens after a lot of work. Yeah, building up that capital. Let's do it with a few more with that Nine of Cups. I like how it feels. There we go. Now everything's coming together. Nothing there. Thanks to the candle saving me. Thanks to the light. Getting pushed away there by those feminine figures and the battle. Let's see what else is over here. Yeah, Hierophant somehow knows. Let's see what the Hierophant can do. There we go. And last but not least, let's see what's happening over here with our defenses up and a clear perspective with the Three of Wands. Beautiful. And last but not least, we help out those last wands that have to be laid down. And this is what we have for the message with gold. Starting here with the birth of something, literally. The struggle leads to very high achievements and the laying down of burdens. Beautiful for today. Let's get into more detail about what these mean. First, let's shed some light on the day. First card of the day, the Hierophant. This is also known as the Pope. The Pope is a teacher, an instructor, or a counselor. So if you're imagining being a teacher, an instructor, or a counselor with strong education and knowledge or academic expertise, this could represent some organized religion, a faith, or the building of some conventional medicine. It could be spiritual medicine, but it's conventional. It's the idea that we're using a system like this. The tarot is an old, trusted system, that kind of thing. Perhaps you could be turning to psychology. What does it mean to not see someone's face for 4 years? Kind of thing. This could represent a spiritual father. So if you're imagining providing or receiving a consultation or a treatment as a specialist or by a specialist, or if you're imagining overseeing a marriage, perhaps helping a union, you've activated the strength of this card. If you're also imagining being part of a marriage or receiving the consecration of marriage, you've activated the power of this card. Let's look here at the portal for today. The Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands, if you look carefully, you'll see an individual who's looking out, and far in the distance in the water, those golden waters where the sun is setting or rising, you can't really tell. It's difficult to tell. You see one ship that's ahead and two that are behind. They correspond with these wands themselves, which is to say the wands on the right-hand side, these here, they're in a fixed position. They're starting to grow again, like a transplant. And it represents security, a defensive position. If you look at the individual, his back is turned. Well, there are some where you see the back turned of the individual on the card. However, this male figure is looking out, and you see the emotional self with that blue sleeve concentrated on this defensive position. Contemplating, what is it that I should do here? And so while he's contemplating the definitions from the Marseille Tarot, here's what they say. If you're imagining looking for direction so you may move forward after a moment of hesitation, this is the moment where you're finding a middle path between two courses of action, and you're gaining an advantage by keeping neutrality between two conflicting sides. I think of the moon from yesterday, where you have the two towers and the hemispheres of the brain having to find balance. And then you see this one here that is that potential to move in a direction. Anytime you're looking at the wands, we're talking about fire energy. This is active energy. This is masculine energy. Next, we have the Three of Cups. Keep in mind, the portal for today started with the Three of Wands. That was our entrance. And then, of course, we had the Hierophant. We already talked about him. And next, we have the Three of Cups. And this is a birth of something. This is something new. It brings you happiness, brings you joy. You see these women that are celebrating, they're raising their cups. Cups are emotions. These are high emotions. And this must have to do with a family issue, or could be family at work, could be your colleagues, but it represents some issues that are going on with it that have been resolved. And this also represents a common project that's motivated by feelings and not just by interests. When we're talking about cups, we're talking about feelings, emotions, water. Next here, the third card that lies in the center of the reading, the Seven of Wands. This is an individual that is standing alone against opposition. 6 wands trying to knock him down off of his position. This is a struggle. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you can rest assured that we have that victory because the burdens will be laid down. We see this with the rest of the reading. But what this means in particular is you or someone that you know is putting up a fight against many opponents. This person's abstaining from reacting in a way that is irrational, keeping balance, showing endurance, keeping one's position that's strong in a conflict situation. It's a difficult combat with an uncertain outcome unless we know what's coming. Good news is we know what's coming. This has been here in the last week, I want to say 6 of the 7 days. We've seen the 9 of Cups. And so if you're imagining working with a group, some collectivity, you have collaboration with a group or organization where you're working harmoniously with everyone finding his or her place. You're accepting your role in this social environment, and it leads to happiness. Your wish is coming true. If you're imagining this, you know for sure that the struggle is over, though it requires working with the image nation, the imagination, the nation of images that's in your mind. This comes right after the 7 of Wands, so you can rest assured victory is here. And not only is victory here, but we have the end of a struggle. See here in the distance? That's your kingdom. And see where you're standing? This is where all the seeds are laid down in the Ten of Cups. This individual is just about to lay down some major burden. Anytime you get to the end of a cycle, it's with the 10. And so this is the end of whatever struggle it was. You get to lay down the burden, and you see that hand? It's hard to see, but there's a lower hand that appears to be a right hand, but this individual is using his right hand right here. It could be the left. Some would argue, though I say it's the hand of God that's coming in and saying, come here and rest. Lay your burdens down, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. It's the idea that you deserve rest, you've worked hard, you've proven yourself, there's nothing else you need to do but put down all this beautiful result. Look at all the growth in these wands. So never think like, even though it's a burden, that you have nothing to show for it. Just lay it down, and speaking of what you have to show for it, you got all these seeds that are about to sprout, plus this beautiful kingdom in the background. So embrace that. Embrace the joy of your new kingdom. Relax and just chill. And so what the Marseille has to say about it, about the Ten of Wands, is this represents loyalty to some higher power. The fact that you've made it through after all this struggle. You now have a partnership or an alliance that knows how to endure the hardships and succeed in getting over whatever obstacles come your way. So if you're imagining pure intentions and perseverance leading to success, this is the card for you. You're honoring your principles in spite of difficulties, overcoming the obstacles, putting in the hard work, showing the determination, having a positive mental attitude, and now the kingdom awaits you. So this represents the reading for today, May 2nd, 2023. It's been a pleasure reading for you today. May this wisdom serve the highest good of all involved. And just remember, let the weak man say, I am strong. Whatever follows those words, I am, they're sacred. These are the words that Moses heard at Mount Sinai when he saw the burning bush and he thought all was lost. He asked, who are you? And the Lord responded, I am that I am. It's whatever you think about. I am that. I am the great teacher. I am the birth of something new in the celebration. I am the struggle. I am wish fulfillment. And I am the yoke and the burden now laid down. I am the one in the defensive, secure position, also understanding I have all that is needed to advance. Anything that you say following the words I am becomes active as a seed that literally gets planted in your Garden of Eden. So use it for your benefit. Why be masochistic? It makes no sense. We are here to live and love and learn and be fruitful. This is the message for you today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me. And until next time, be well and God bless. And you know, there's one other thing I wanted to show you. And if we look carefully enough, I'm going to switch over to video so you can see. You can see how clearly in this one there are eyes. The grain of cacao. It's these types of incredible impressions come from the tea or the cacao that we consume. And I just thought that was profound to me. I'll zoom in again so now you've had the suggestion, you can see with a bit more clarity. I'm sure you see a lot more things. It all depends. I just wanted to share that with you. Part of the beauty of these tea readings, an old tradition. God bless.